If I woke up tomorrow and I had no clients, no mailing list, no following on social media, and I had to make $2,000, here's exactly what I would do. Most people are going to panic, they're going to freak out. But me, I've got a plan. And you might think, who needs $2,000 in 24 hours? But as a father and a husband, it's possible. You know, a car accident, needing brake repairs, kids needing dentist or something like that. So it's incredibly possible that someone would wake up and need $2,000, but I'm going to explain to you exactly what I'm going to do. But first, a quick story about how I learned this, and so that maybe you can see that this is something totally doable for anybody. A few years ago, when I was first trying to make money online, and no, I'm not going to talk about affiliate marketing. I'm not going to talk about digital products. But when I was first trying to make money online, I was really struggling. I couldn't figure out how to get it all to work. And probably much like you, I did a lot of the survey sites. I did a lot of watching ads to make money, and I was literally making pennies. I can remember laying on the couch down here, kind of like laying upside down, trying to get all this figured out, trying to make money because the people on YouTube said that you could just watch ads and make a bunch of money. We both know that that's not true. But eventually what I decided to do is I decided to take a look at things that I was good at and things that I actually kind of enjoyed. And one thing that always kept pulling at me and pulling me back was building out websites. And so what I wound up doing, what I decided to do, I decided I was going to make money helping small businesses build out their websites. Websites are always going to be in high demand. The thing that I quickly learned is that small businesses don't care about websites. They care about the result. They care about what they can get from that website. Whether it's more clients, more traffic, it's maybe something as simple as just answering questions so that they don't have to pick up the phone and answer questions over and over and answer the same questions. Or it's to be able to make sales 24 hours a day. One of the biggest drawbacks for small and medium-sized businesses is making enough money. And if they've got to take up time answering phone calls and, taking paper orders or whatever it might be, it takes up a lot of time, but a website can solve that issue. And so I had an idea, okay, I'm going to go out and build websites, but how am I actually going to get in front of people was obviously the biggest hurdle that I've run into. And so I decided, you know what, I'm going to go to my local library and I'm going to ask, hey, is there a way that I can get access or a list or some sort, anything, of all of the businesses in Kenosha? And the librarian looked at me and she said, I'll do you one better. I will give you a list of every single business in the United States, 95 million businesses. And I thought, whoa, that's pretty crazy. That's pretty intense. And she handed me a library card. I didn't have one at the time. She handed me a library card and she said, go to this website. It was called Data Exile at the time. Now I think it's called Reference USA. And she said, you can get lists just based on Kenosha County. You can get the state of Wisconsin. You can sort this list by dentists or bakers or candlestick makers, whatever it might be. And so essentially what I did with this new information is I just started compiling lists. I made a list of all of the businesses in Kenosha. And then I realized, hey, that's a lot of businesses. Why don't I just focus on a particular niche? And at the same time, I was registering on websites like Thumbtack, which is kind of like Angie's List. It's a database or a website that connects freelancers with clients or people that need help. And so the combination of two, of cold calling, stopping in on my way home from work, and simply just hustling, I was able to find a couple clients. And at first, I was only charging about $300 per client. And what I was doing is I was building out simple 5-page WordPress websites. And I was getting rejected. I had a lot of people tell me no, but what I realized is that these people wanted proof that I could do what I'm telling them I could do. And so I went home, I built a website. It was called restaurantexample.com. And it was a simple WordPress website displaying that I knew how to build out websites for these people. And as soon as I did that, I actually was able to get a few clients. I was charging $300 at first. And I realized that people were saying yes way too easy. And so I started raising the price, and I just kept raising the price until I sold one for $2,500. While that seems like a great deal, I also realized that some people just don't want to pay. And what I had been doing is I'd been working on good faith, blind faith, stupid faith. And some people, after I completed them, they would just disappear. They would ghost me. All of a sudden, I was locked out of the WordPress website. I couldn't access them, and their email and their phone no longer worked. So what I wound up doing is I said, you know what? If you're going to work with me, I got to get half up front. I will not work with you unless I get some form of payment that doesn't completely leave me out of work. So now that you know exactly how I stumbled across this, let's go ahead and talk about what we're going to do. This is going to be a simple 7-step process to make $2,000 in just 24 hours. It's something that I've done. It's something that I've taught other people to do, and it's something that you can do as well. Now, this is going to require you to hustle. This is going to require active income. And before I let you go, I do have a question for you that I'm going to ask at the end of this video. So make sure that you stay into the end so that you can help me out. A couple things that I want to share with you. Anyway, 7-step process. It's real simple. It's repeatable. And once you get this off the ground, you can use it as proof of concept. You can go around and teach this to other people. So let's go ahead and talk about what we're going to do. The first thing you want to do is you want to identify a skill that you already have. Now, you might think I don't have any skills, but you've made it to whatever age you are. Chances are you know how to do something that other people don't know how to do. You don't have to be an expert. I certainly wasn't an expert in building out WordPress websites, but I just knew a little bit more. In addition, if you have the foundation skills, you can learn a little bit more. You can just do a YouTube or a Google search. Now, what you've got to remember is people want to save time, okay? As I mentioned with small business owners, they don't care about a website. They don't have time to build out a website, but they understand the value of it, and they will pay to take one more thing off of their plate. So make a list of 5 or 6 skills that you have, regardless if you feel like you're a novice at it or if you're an expert. It can be anything from WordPress websites, building out Microsoft Excel templates. It can be literally anything that you have a skill in. I recommend a skill that can be implemented or done online or remotely, but make a list of 5 or 6 skills. Now, once you identify a skill, the next thing that you want to do is you want to identify a market that needs that skill. For me, I realized that churches needed that skill. I actually built out a number of websites for churches. But for you, it could be the person down the street. It could be you are building out logos. I'm actually in the process of hiring somebody to build out a logo for me. Identify a segment of the market. And the reason why you want to target or identify a segment of the market is because you want to understand their wants and needs. For example, when I was building out websites for churches, I emphasized the donation button so people could make donations remotely. I emphasized that they could actually live stream, and this was before COVID, that they could live stream their church services so that people could watch even if they couldn't attend, and then have a little donation button. So make sure that you have a strong understanding of the wants and needs of that market that you're getting into, and then you can speak their language. One of the most powerful things that you can do is speak the language of your clients or customers. And when you do that, they're going to say, this guy knows me, or this girl knows me. And so the next thing that you want to do, and I think this is really important, is to create a demo. You want to be able to show people that you know what you know. A lot of people out there are going to claim that they know how to do a bunch of stuff, but if you have a demo and you can speak to that demo and you can refer back to it, or some people call it a portfolio, if you can do that, that will help build trust, because it's all about building trust and building a relationship. A lot of this, when you're connecting with people and working with people, it's all about, do I trust them? Do I like them enough to invest my time, money, and energy? And if you can build a demo, that helps bridge the gap, and it helps people see visually what you can do. Now, again, you can do this with literally anything. For me, it worked best with building out websites, because I could say, go to restaurantexample.com and take a look at what I've done. I can customize this. I can make it look like whatever, add whatever logo, whatever colors you want. And again, it goes a long way with building trust. Now that you have completed that step, the next thing that you want to do is you want to build a list of people Now, for me, I went out and got a list of people from it was called Reference USA at that time. You might be able to get a list of people from family and friends, or people at your church, or you might just be able to live in an area where you can go door to door. You can just walk in, but build a list of people. And what you want to do is, when you build a list of people, you're going to want to cold call, you're going to want to email, you're going to want to walk in, and then actually message people on social media. So a few things that I was able to do, because I had that list of people from Reference USA, I simply just called. Before calling, I checked their website. One of the cool things with Reference USA is you could see if they had a website. So I looked to see, first I targeted people that didn't have a website but had a Facebook group or a Facebook profile. Then I targeted people that had ugly websites or outdated websites. People that had updated current websites, I just completely left them alone because they understood the value. But what I would encourage you to do, what I strongly recommend that you do, is reach out to them on social media. Like I mentioned, a lot of these businesses had Facebook pages, and they were relying on the Facebook pages to communicate their message. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to talk to these churches and let them know that there was a bigger benefit to having a website than just a Facebook page. And so come up with a game plan. Now, what you have to understand, and if you're new to this channel, one thing you should know about me is I'm incredibly transparent. I want to let you know realistically what your success and what your results are going to look like. When you are cold calling and cold messaging and cold emailing, your success rate is going to be relatively low, okay? People are very hesitant because of scams. People are hesitant because they're pretty busy. So just know that you are going to have to do a lot of outreach in order to start getting people. You might have to make 100 phone calls in a single day to get 2 or 3 people on the phone, and out of those 2 or 3 people, you might have to do a follow-up appointment with just one of them. So know that this is going to be a high effort thing, but you have the opportunity to make a significant amount of money. Great. So again, cold call, send emails. In fact, you might want to cold call and then send an email out saying, hey, I just tried to reach you, blah, blah, blah. Also walk in. One thing that I did was, on my way home from work, if I saw a church or if I saw a restaurant, Chinese restaurant, I would just pop in and say, hey, I was taking a look at your website, and I think we can make some improvements. Again, you're going to have to deal with a little bit of rejection, but that's okay. Though the end result is worth it. It'll help you improve your sales skills. It'll help you improve your communication skills. Anyway, if you get somebody on the hook, if you create a follow-up appointment or a follow-up meeting, make sure you demonstrate the skill that you have. Showing is always better than telling. And another thing that you want to understand is that you want to talk to the benefits. Okay, don't talk about the features of a thing. You want to talk about the benefits. If I talk about how the website is super fast, they don't really care about that. But if I talk about, hey, your viewers will have the ability to donate during a live stream. They'll be able to watch you and engage with you and potentially ask you questions during the live stream. And if they get value, they'll be able to donate. So you'll be able to connect with your audience, even if they're stuck at home, if they're sick and shut in. Always talk about the benefits. If you are a writer, talk about the benefits of writing, and not just you can write a 2,000-word essay. Nobody really understands the point of that. You can talk about you will write for them so that they show up on the first page of Google. And then you can say that's important because always remember so what and so you can. And you'll say, hey, I'll write blog posts for you that you'll show up on the first page of Google so you can get more traffic and visitors to your website. And if you get more traffic and visitors, you'll be able to make more money. So with a small business owner, ultimately it comes down to money. Oftentimes, save them time, save them money, make them money, or help them avoid frustration, and they'll buy from you. Anyway, now that you have demoed the skill, you've got a fish on the hook, you've got a person on the hook. Most important, when they say yes, and expect them to say yes. Don't be surprised when someone says yes. Make sure that you get paid half up front. If you can, create a contract. If you can't, that's fine. But really important that you get paid half up front. Because if you don't get paid half up front, you're going to wind up like me, unfortunately, where a couple people stiffed you. In fact, I had a college professor stiff me. He just disappeared off the face of the earth. I sent out emails, I called him, and no response. So get paid half up front at least. And what you charge is really going to depend on your skill, how in demand it is, how quickly you can get it done, and if you have previous experience with that skill. And then really important, go ahead and complete it to the best of your ability. Make sure that you focus on one project at a time. If you give all of your attention to that one product and you make it the best you can, a few things are going to happen. They're going to be pleasantly surprised. And more importantly, you can potentially make more money from them. Offer them a maintenance plan. For example, when I was doing these websites, I would say, okay, your website's complete, but it's important that it stays up to date. If it's not up to date, it could get infected with viruses. You could lose it completely. And what I'm willing to do is I'm actually willing to take care of your website for you for just $50 a month. $50 a month, I'll make sure that it stays up to date, that there are no viruses. And again, most business owners don't know that with a website, you just need to, a WordPress website, you just need to update the plugins. And you just let them know, hey, for $50 a month, I'll make sure your website's up to date. For $200 a month, not only will I make sure your websites are up to date, I'll include 2 or 3 blog posts, and you can outsource that if you want. But offer maintenance plans for them to enroll in so you can make more money with the same customers. One thing that you could do eventually too is you could offer web hosting. So what I did is I told them, hey, I would make your website for half price if you use my web hosting service. It was called Remote Web Services at the time, and that allowed me to make recurring income as well. Offer maintenance plans, ask for referrals, and very important, and also ask for testimonials so that you can put the testimonials on your website. You can let people know that you've helped other customers and they've gotten the result that other people have wanted. And testimonials are really important because it's one thing if I tell you how good I am, it's something completely different if other people tell you how good I am. So try and get those testimonials to start. And again, what you charge or what you command is going to vary based on your skill level, but this will work for any skill. In fact, if you are working a full-time job, it may suck in the very beginning, but take your full-time job and take it online and offer freelancing services that way. And then really the final step is to just move on and repeat the process. You are going to keep trying to find clients, and you're going to keep working and grinding at this until you meet the level of success that you're looking for. But that was how I was able to make $2,000 in 24 hours. If you're looking to make that amount of money, you're going to have to hustle and grind pretty quick. But now that we've got that covered, I've got a quick question for you. What do you guys think about the background? I've updated the background. Finally, I got all the images up. And I think it doesn't look too bad, right? And the other cool thing that I'm working on, I just started today, is a new logo. And let me kind of show you and tell you what's going to happen with this logo. I might put an image. Why don't I put an image? So what I'm going to do is I've got this brand new logo. It'll go probably right here. This logo is going to be part of a plaque that I give away, or a award that I give away for platform proof creators. And I'll talk a little bit. I don't have a lot of time. We're getting close to it, but just know that there's going to be a plaque, an award type of thing. And everyone has seen the YouTube play button. Let me grab that real quick. So everyone is familiar with the YouTube play button, right? Everyone knows what this means and what this signifies. Mine's kind of dusty. But I'm actually going to create something similar for my platform proof creators. I'll talk a little bit more about that as we get closer to it, but I'm kind of excited about this opportunity, and I want to know what you guys think. So tell me what you guys think about this. I've added it a little bit. I'm going to drop a screenshot of the potential logo. It might not be the final logo, and once again, of course, always comment if you are part of the 20-minute club. I love to see the people that stay into the end. Yeah. So thanks so much, guys, for watching. Let me know what you would do in the comment section below if you had to make 2K in 24 hours. Let me know what your skills are, and we could potentially create a plan where you could implement those skills. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.